Westport Elementary School, Westport, Connecticut. They run without knowing why, save that they are in peril of their lives. Their names are Mark and Jill. He is 11. She just turned 9 last week.
I'm tired. Can't we stop and rest, please?
We can't, Jill. They're right behind us. Through the playground, sis. Come on, as fast as you can.
Where are Mom and Dad? What happened to them?
Don't think about them. They can't help us anymore. We're on our own.
Mark!
Run, Jill!
I won't leave you!
They'll catch you, Jill! Get out!
Too late, kid.
Who are you people? What do you want?
We're purifiers. And by now, young man, our intention should be obvious. Don't cry, boy. I'm sending you to join your parents.
You killed them!
Them and you.
Mark? Mark? Why?
Because you have no right to live. Hoist their bodies up on that swing, and be quick about it. The mission's taken too long as it is.
And for a time, the schoolyard is quiet once more. The purifiers intended that the bodies be found tomorrow morning, an example for all the school children to see, but long before dawn.
In execution, not the first, far from the last. Only this time, the victims are children. So young, so innocent, to know such terror and pain. Their only crime, that they had been born. And for all my vaunted power, I was unable to save them. No more shall die, but those responsible for this atrocity. Whatever the cost, however long it takes, I will hunt them down and make them pay.
New York City, the Stryker Building, headquarters of the worldwide evangelical Stryker Crusade.
If there be found among you, man or woman, that hath wrought wickedness in the sight of the Lord thy God, in transgressing his covenant, and hath gone and served other gods, and worshipped them, either the sun or moon, or any of the hosts of heaven, which I have not commanded, and it be told thee and thou, behold it to be true, then shalt thou bring forth that man and that woman, which have committed that wicked thing, and shalt stone them with stones, till they die. Thy kingdom come, Lord, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Yes?
The briefing tapes are ready, Reverend.
Then run them, Bess. And would you have some sandwiches and fresh coffee sent up, please? I got so involved in writing Sunday's sermon, I forgot to break for dinner. Subjects: the Uncanny X-Men, a team of so-called superheroes, whose membership consists exclusively of mutants, people born with extraordinary powers and abilities. Currently, there are 6. Cyclops, capable of projecting force beams from his eyes. These optic blasts can only be restrained and controlled by ruby quartz. Storm, a self-styled pagan goddess possessing the ability to manipulate the weather. Wolverine, former Canadian secret agent. His skeleton is laced with adamantium, making it virtually unbreakable. Razor-keen adamantium claws retract into bionic housings in his forearms. His body's mutant healing factor is able to cope with almost any wound, disease, or poison. Colossus, who can transform his body from flesh and blood into super strong, nigh invulnerable organic steel. Ariel, able to phase her body through solid objects. Nightcrawler, in addition to exceptional acrobatic skills and the ability to cling to walls and ceilings, he is a teleporter. The team's founder and mentor, Professor Charles Xaiver, is a telepath. The X-Men are based at his school for gifted youngsters in Salem Center, New York, where they and other mutants comprise the student body.
Sorry to disturb you, Reverend, but you're due at the ABC studios for tonight's broadcast.
Thanks, Bess.
Are those the X-Men?
They certainly are, but God willing, if all goes well, not for very much longer.
Chapter 1, 73 Willingdon Road, in the suburban town of Salem Center, where former prima ballerina Stevie Hunter maintains both home and dance studio.
Take it back! Take back what you said, Danny, or so help me. I'll rearrange your face.
Kitty, stop this! Have you lost your mind?
Let me alone, Illyana. This creep's been on my case all week. I've had it with him. Come on, Danny. Let's hear your apology while you can still talk.
Katya, what are you doing?
Huh? Peter? Ow! You lousy. Now you're really gonna get it.
Let the little trap loose, Illyana. I'll bug in her other eye.
You will do nothing. Neither of you.
Stay out of this, Peter. It isn't your fight. You didn't hear what he said.
Settle down, Kitty. Get a hold of yourself. You're phasing.
What the hell is going on out here?
It's Kitty's fault, Miss Hunter. She started it.
Is this true?
I swung first because Danny shot his mouth off once too often.
Your turn, Daniel. Explain.
I was talking about the Stryker Crusade and all the good it does. My folks and I are members, so what's wrong with that?
Tell her the rest, creep, about how Reverend Stryker's gonna save humanity from the godless hordes of mutant kind.
Well, he is. Muties are evil. They deserve what they get. You wanna make something of it, mutie lover?
You have both made your points, young man. I suggest you let matters end here.
Right. Hey, and anything you say, Mr. Rasputin, no problem. Next time, Pride, when King Kong here isn't around to protect you, it'll be my turn.
Thanks a lot, Peter.
Forgive me, Katya. I simply do not want to see the boy hurt.
With your training, you could have crippled Danny or worse.
You'd have done the same to me, I bet.
Come on, let's get you inside and cleaned up.
How can you all be so calm? Didn't you hear what he said?
They're only words, child.
Suppose he had called me a nigger lover, Stevie. Would you be so damn tolerant then?
You and your sister had better go after her, Peter. See if she gets home safe. I'll speak to Danny and make certain this sort of thing never happens again.
Kitty is upset, Stevie. She did not think about what she was saying. She did not mean...
Of course she did, my friend. She meant every word. And she was right.
The Hunter woman's going back inside. One shot would do the trick. She'd never know what hit her, and with the silencer, no one would hear a thing.
She isn't a mutant, partner. Leave her be.
She's worse. She treats those mutie scum like real human beings.
Our mission's surveillance, not assassination. Be patient, George. Once we've dealt with the muties, there'll be plenty of time for traitors like her.
Mission Central, this is Rover Team 3. Colossus, his sister Illyana, and Ariel are returning to the school. Situation normal. Operation Headhunter can proceed as scheduled.
A few miles outside town, Peter Rasputin turns off Graymalkin Lane and up the school's drive. The estate, sprawled along 3 miles of lakefront, has been in Xavier's family for generations, and has become a much beloved home to the X-Men as well.
What kept you, Peter? We were worried you'd miss Air Professor's appearance on television. Hurry, inside! The show's about to start!
That's some shiner you're sporting there, Pumpkin. Scrap or accident?
Scrap.
Fair fight?
I guess so.
You win?
Nope.
How come?
I guess I don't have your killer instincts, Wolverine.
That's all there is to it.
I wasn't fighting an evil mutant or supervillain or murder machine, Logan. Just a kid with a big mouth. It was no big deal. I'm gonna wash up and change my clothes. I won't be long.
While Kitty's gone, Illyana explains.
There's no answer to such hatred. It exists as we do. But for such a conflict to come to a head tonight, even, or perhaps, especially in so small and ordinary a manner, is that an omen?
Popcorn, anyone? Kitty?
No thanks, Illyana.
Shush, you two. The program is beginning.
Good evening, I'm John Xaiver. Our topic tonight, mutants. And here with me to discuss it, Professor Charles Xavier, renowned authority on human genetics. And Reverend William Stryker, founder of the Stryker Crusade, one of the foremost and most influential electronics evangelical ministries. Professor, let's open with you.
Firstly, Mr. Xaiver, mutants per se are not a monolithic group possessing one set of attitudes or goals. They are individuals, as are we all, and should be judged as such. Now there you go, Charles. These individuals of yours possess some pretty terrifying powers. How are we common folk to defend ourselves against them? If I may quote from the report of Senator Robert Kelly's Ad Hoc Committee on Mutant Activities, the ever-increasing numbers of mutants poses a clear and present danger, both to the United States and to the socio-political order of the world as we know it.
Right.
Gosh, Kitty, you don't look dangerous.
This ain't a joke, Illyana. This sucker means business.
Quiet! I don't want to miss anything.
They have switched to a commercial. They should have given the professor a chance to respond.
Over the remainder of the program, the heated debate continues.
After all, Charles, is it fair to even call mutants human? The generic term for them is, I believe, Homo superior, which relates to a different species altogether.
Cue camera 1. You think Xavier's making a convincing case?
Yeah, but who's listening? Stryker knows television, and he's playing to the audience. He comes across as such a nice, personable guy.
Too bad, because the man's message is pretty damn scary.
Finally.
That's all for us. Thank you, and good night.
Good riddance. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm suddenly in a mood to break something. Anyone want to join me in the danger room?
Sounds good to me. Illyana, would you set up a training sequence while we change into costume?
Take Stryker's remark about mutants not being human to its ultimate, and we've no rights under the law. No right to have any rights. Or protection. We could be exterminated like rats. Legally murdered.
It seems impossible, but Stryker's so popular. Millions of people believe his every word.
To think us evil simply because we exist. Is it madness?
I have known such hatred and fear from birth. But time does not make it any easier to take.
The others are spooked. With good reason.
I wish the professor and Scott and Aurora were here.
Meanwhile, on the west side of Manhattan.
A fascinating discussion, Professor. I'm sorry we had to cut it short.
I too, Mr. Xaiver. I fear Reverend Stryker made by far the better presentation.
This did not go well, did it, Scott?
We were slaughtered, Aurora. Charles was speaking to the people's ideals, Stryker to their fears. But on camera, Charles looked so grim and foreboding. Almost scary. That he ended up making Stryker's case for him. Let's just hope the damage isn't irreparable.
Oh, my fault, Mr. Summers. I should have been watching where I was going.
No harm done.
Is everything ready, Anne?
We'll take them in Central Park, sir.
Splendid. Our size screens prevented Xaiver from scanning our thoughts, so the surprise should be total.
I've programmed a solo synergistic evaluation sequence to test you as individuals and a team. Your primary objective is to protect the Magneto family, Papa, Mama, Ivan, and little Svetlana. Secondary objectives are Wolverine, to escape from that cage without cutting through its bars. Ariel, to use your powers offensively. Colossus, to defeat the robots. And Nightcrawler, to move that module onto the target grid. Its mass will trigger a pressure relay and end the sequence. Good luck, X-Men. You'll need it.
The robot has fired missiles, heading for the Manekwanovs.
I got him, Colossus! Bingo! My phasing power disrupted the missile's electronic systems and sent him out of control.
Can't punch my way out. Flamin' rules. Maybe I can pick the lock with a claw.
I cannot push so great a mass, and I do not know if I can teleport it. Because nothing managed to shift myself, but not module. Strain so great. I was nearly trapped in transition. But if I cannot move that block, the test will never end, and we will have failed.
This is getting us nowhere. We haven't a hope if we do what's expected of us. Guys, let's see what happens if we change the rules. I'll short-circuit your sparring partner, Colossus. You block the missiles. Nightcrawler, help Wolverine.
I must be getting old. Should have thought of this myself. Maybe I can't cut the cage. But nothing's to stop me making a mess of the chain that holds it up. Hang on, Elf. Here we go.
No good, Wolverine. The cage's mess is inefficient to terminate the sequence.
Can't say I'm surprised. Port me out of here. We'll let Petey do the rest.
With a double burst of fire and brimstone, Nightcrawler shifts himself inside the cage, grabs Wolverine, and teleports the two of them to safety. Not a moment too soon. West 67th Street, just off Columbus Avenue.
How serious is the Stryker situation, Professor?
Potentially quite grave, Scott. In the studio, I sensed a sophisticated size screen shielding his thoughts. A general precaution? Or is he aware of my abilities? And if so, how did he learn? And what else about me and the X-Men does he know?
Stay on their tail, Rocco, but not too close. We don't want to give our friends the slightest cause for alarm.
At 72nd Street, the Rose turns onto Central Park Drive.
an evil mutant, such as our arch-foe Magneto, can be confronted physically, we have no such option with Stryker, whose stocks in trades are words and ideas. We can only counter them with saner, gentler words of our own. And hope for the best. Eh? Scott, I sense hostile thought patterns ahead of us. It's an ambush!
Explosion stunned the professor. He can't mind call the others upstate. And the radio smashed as well. Doors jammed. I'll have to use my optical blast to punch a way out. Aurora, you take care of the professor. I'll handle the opposition. As soon as you're airborne, summon a fog to cover our escape.
Scott!
Perfect. Rocco, notify the Reverend. Mission accomplished.
This workout was just what I needed. I feel so much better. How come so grumpy, Wolverine? You did really good.
Ja, mein Freund, what is the secret to your success?
Clean living, of course.
You are not taking this very seriously.
Why should I? It's a game. And games are for kids.
There are times, guys, when that man scares me silly.
I'll answer it. Probably Scott ringing in from New York. Xavier's school, Kurt Wagner speaking. May I help you? What?
Tovarish, is something the matter?
Fuzzy Elf, you look so awful.
That was the police. There's been an accident. Professor Xavier, Scott, and Aurora are dead.
Chapter 2. The next day.
Hi! The others have gone into New York. We're on our own. Kitty, are you okay?
I'm alive. Does that count?
You've been up here on the bluff for ages. Want some company?
If I had it, Illyana, I'd have stayed in the damn house.
Katya!
What?
They were my friends too.
I suppose I should be used to this, accept it as a reality of the life we lead. But after all we've been through, to have them killed in a lousy car crash? And the really crazy thing is, I still don't believe it's true. I hate death.
There isn't very much you can do about it.
Yeah, Peter and I had a talk about it once. Seems like ages ago.
Peter once told me, if not for the depths of grief, how could we truly measure the heights of joy?
Too bad that cuts both ways.
You care for my brother, don't you?
We're good friends.
You're blushing.
Think. My folks would croak if they knew.
Why?
They consider Peter an adult, while I'm still their darling little girl. Crushes are cool, but falling in love for real is the penultimate no-no.
And the ultimate?
Take a guess.
Oh, Mother Volga, I forgot. One of the reasons I was looking for you. I saw something strange along the ridge. What is it?
An electronic sensor module, I think. Aimed at the mansion.
Who put it here? And why?
Beats me. Let's find out.
That was impressive. Now what?
We wait till somebody comes to fix the thing.
And we'll be here to greet them?
Don't worry, Illyana. I'll protect you.
Wonderful.
Central Park, Manhattan.
I don't care what the flaming cops say, Petey. This was no accident.
Doesn't matter, Tovarish. Our friends are just as dead.
3 corpses were found in the wreck, pal. But they weren't our friends. Car totally consumed by fire. Bodies burned beyond recognition. Very nice. Very neat. Trouble is, the scents are wrong.
I do not understand.
It's a con. Someone went to a hell of a lot of trouble to convince the law and us that Charlie, Scott, and Roro were killed in a car crash.
How can you be certain?
I've staged more than a few such accidents in my day, boy. This has all the earmarks.
Should we not tell the police?
Nope. Kurt, what you got?
Your hunch paid off, mein Freund. A car parked across from our rolls just after we arrived. 2 people checked out the rolls. Now they're watching and waiting. What's our next move?
Let's nail the bastards.
No sign of the muties.
Relax. There are purifiers covering every exit from the park, plus our members among the police units inside. Whichever way the X-Men try to leave, we'll spot them.
I wish something would happen.
You got it. There's the big one, Colossus, but he's in costume. What the hell? Nightcrawler?
Hit the bricks, bub. You, your lady friend, and me are gonna have words.
We can't allow ourselves to be captured. Better to die instead, and in the process, take some of them with us.
Straddling the front seat, Doran grabs the wheel and stamps on the accelerator. And
if I try to evade them, they will follow. On this busy street, innocent people are sure to be harmed. That I cannot allow.
with the speed of thought, the transformation from man to armored juggernaut is complete.
This car's building up too much speed. If the woman remains inside, she'll never survive the impact. My apologies for ruining your imminent martyrdom, Fraulein, but you are coming with me.
This intersection is momentarily free of traffic. I must stop the car here. And I shall! Either I am getting stronger, comrades, or automobiles are not so sturdy or powerful as they used to be.
Mein Gott! There were other people in the car! We didn't see them! Colossus! Look out behind you!
Port over there, Elf. Tackle them.
Yeah, do that, freak.
Ah!
We'll tear you apart. As easily as we dropped your tin-plated pal. How about that? He's still twitching. One more shot ought to put him out of his misery. Then, It'll be your turn. Hey!
I think not.
Supposedly indestructible, battlesuits shred like paper. Then the same energies which stripped the purifiers now imprison them.
Should we be grateful, Wolverine, or run for our lives?
You.
Sheathe your claws, Wolverine. Magneto is here as a friend, and if you'll have me, an ally.
Upstate.
I'm bored. Me too. We've waited long enough. We might as well head for the mansion and phone the guys. Hold it. Someone's coming.
They look like they mean business. Do you recognize them, Kitty?
Nope.
Can we go now?
They'll spot us. I'm afraid we're stuck here till they leave.
I'm afraid. Period.
Well, Rocco?
Be fixed in a jiffy, boss.
I'm gonna go do some scouting.
Be careful.
Taking a deep breath, Kitty faces down into the hill beneath her and starts across the clearing. It's a lot like swimming, only earth is a far more medium for her than water, and she can't see where she's going. She hopes she reaches cover before she runs out of air.
All set, Ann. I'll run a 360 security sweep before we go. Contact.
Yikes!
There.
Get her!
Kitty, help!
End of the line, my dear.
That was a gunshot. All the commotion. Illyana! No!
A mutie. Ann. Is she dead?
Stunned. Rocco, put her in my car.
Thank God, I was so scared. I'm phasing to such a degree I can walk on air. I don't think their scanner can detect me. So far, so good. It's my fault Illyana's in this mess. It's up to me to rescue her.
The girl's bio readings are neither precisely human nor mutant. I don't know what to make of them, but I'm certain the Reverend will want to investigate further.
They're leaving. If I take time to leave a message for the guys, I'll lose Illyana. I'll phase into the trunk of the Boscone's car. When she reaches her destination, I'll try to find some way to call home.
Well, well, well. An intruder. Our young friend has a playmate. And it isn't hard to guess who it is. A dose of nerve gas should teach her what happens to curious kitties.
As one set of players exits Xavier's estate, another makes its entrance.
You'll get nothing from us, mutie.
Wanna bet?
We're prepared to die.
I'm glad to hear that, darling, 'cause you're real close to getting your wish. See these? Remember what they did to your car? That's one. That's two. Wanna go for three? Okay, hero.
Wolverine.
Your choice. Your funeral.
May I suggest an alternative?
Your lucky day, pal.
I doubt that.
I'm not afraid of you, mutie.
The Purifier resist, but the outcome is never truly in doubt. First he, then his companions tell all they know. They serve the Stryker Crusade, whose goal is the complete and utter eradication of mutant kind, and the means to achieve that end will be the man who has dedicated his life to championing the cause of Homo Superior, Charles Xavier.
One more genocide in the name of God. A story as old as the race.
Was this necessary?
Yup.
But if we use our foe's methods, my friend, how then are we better than they?
Chapter 3. The World Trade Center, Manhattan. And they bring him onto the place Golgotha. And they crucify him. Charles Xavier does not believe this to be real. That does not save him. In turn, each X-Men comes. To pay his respects. And bid him fond farewell.
Enjoying this, old man? You should be. Considering you shaped us in your image! We lived and fought for you, Xavier. But you gave us nothing but death and dishonor! The debt's long overdue.
Instead of optic blast, a miasmic fog erupts from Cyclops' eyes to enshroud Xavier like a lover, as his beloved students do unto him, as they believe he did to them. They have become creatures of ultimate evil. They seek to make him so he no longer resists. For if they are made in his image, is he himself not evil incarnate? Then when all seems lost, a light of purest silver pierces the heavens. At its touch, the demonic X-Men are consumed, their grieving mentor freed from his bonds, his wounds miraculously healed. In awe and wonder, he looks up to behold a man, a hand held out in friendship. Still ignorant of how or why this has come to pass, only now, no longer caring, Xavier reaches out to the stranger. At the last instant, though doubt flares within him, a little thing, but more than enough to hurl him once more from the grace he craves, and into the abyss.
Damn. We nearly had him that time. Status report update. Subject suspended in isolation tank under total sensory deprivation. His disorientation intensified through the use of drugs and direct physical stimulus of the brain via implanted electrodes. Mind wash procedures initiated 15 hours ago. Results encouraging. However, his resistance is far more determined than I expected.
A light, Phillip.
Thank you, Reverend.
Don't despair, my friend. We knew from the start this wouldn't be easy.
I'm not worried about breaking him. It's doing the job properly, within your time limit. Care to see our other guest? Those chairs not only neutralize the mutant's abilities, they psionically link them with Xavier. The drugs we administered heightened his psychic sensitivity to the point where it's impossible for him to screen out their thoughts. We torture them, and Xavier suffers. He's aware that the pain comes from them, and in his confused state, believes they're doing it deliberately. His own subconscious fears and guilts provide the rationale for their betrayal.
Stryker!
We have done you no harm. Why are you doing this?
Because you exist, and that existence is an affront to the Lord.
He looks at the two X-Men, and time and memory suddenly, unexpectedly turn back upon themselves to a simpler day, 30 years gone.
There was no crusade then. I wasn't even a minister. Quite the opposite. Master Sergeant William Stryker, U.S. Army Rangers, a tough-as-nails, hell-raising professional soldier, on special assignment to the military nuclear test program. The brass told us the danger was minimal. We believed them. When my tour was over, my wife Marcy and I headed south to visit my family in Phoenix. We never made it. Alone, in the middle of the Nevada desert, I delivered my son. It was a monster. Faced with that abomination, I did what had to be done. And when Marcy, half unconscious, asked for her baby, I took her in my arms, held her close, and broke her neck. The car had been leaking gas since the crash. It was a miracle there had been no explosion. I planned to change that. I placed Marcy inside the wreck, her baby in her arms. I climbed in beside her and lit a match.
Easy, fella. Don't try to move. The ambulance is on its way. You're a lucky man. That explosion must have blown you clear. You're gonna be alright.
Marcy and the monster were burned beyond all recognition. None knew my shame but I. And try as I might, I couldn't forget. I was a war hero with a Class A record, so the Army turned a blind eye to my drinking and fighting. I'd suffered a terrible loss. They were prepared to be patient. To a point. I touched bottom without even the guts to kill myself. Then I saw a magazine article by Charles Xaiver about mutants. After months of torment, I knew what the monster was. A mutant. But could I have fathered such a creature? Was my life so wicked that the Lord sought to punish me through my son? And if so, why then let me live? If I was evil, shouldn't I have been condemned to eternal damnation? I prayed for guidance. It was given me. The evil, the sin, was Marcy's, not mine. She was the vessel used by God to reveal unto me Satan's most insidious plot against humanity, to corrupt us through our children, while they were still in the womb. The Lord created man and woman in His image, blessed with His grace. Mutants broke that sacred mold. They were creations, not of God, but of the devil. And I had been chosen to lead the fight against them. From that lowly beginning came my ministry. For a quarter century, I labored in the wilderness, amassing phenomenal temporal power. Now, at last, the moment has come to put those resources to use.
How did you learn about the X-Men?
Xaiver initially founded your group, under the auspices of the federal government. His liaison was FBI agent Fred Duncan, a senior official of the Bureau, a devoted member of the Crusade, passed copies of Duncan's files on to me. The more I learned of your mentor, the more convinced I became that he is the Antichrist, the supposed friend of mankind, who will lead us instead to our destruction.
I still don't understand. If we were such a threat, why haven't you killed us?
I have my reasons, young man, which you'll learn soon enough, to your regret. Yes?
And here, Reverend, en route from Xaiver School, requesting instructions concerning my prisoners.
I trust your judgment about Colossus' sister.
And the Pride girl?
Kill her.
No! She's only a child.
When the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them, and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Continue, Phillip. It's getting late.
Kitty!
Colson Street, the South Bronx.
Screwy weather. The forecast was for clear skies. Instead, out of nowhere, looks like a hell of a storm brewing over Manhattan.
That's no concern of ours, Rocco. Sensors indicate that Pride's still in the trunk. The nerve gas should have rendered her unconscious long ago. Pity. She should be conscious for this. Purifiers! Do your duty.
And the car's empty.
The brat's smarter and luckier than I would have given her credit for. Still, she can't have gone far. Aha! A signal bearing 205 at 100+ meters. That's her. Fan out. Cut off her escape routes. Shoot her on sight.
Ouch! It's so dark, even with a full moon, I can hardly see where I'm going. I faced the instant I heard the gas jets, but I think some of it got to me. I feel awful. I can hardly concentrate enough to walk, much less face, and for all the help I'm likely to find in this neighborhood, I might as well be on the moon. Some great rescue this is turning out to be. I hope Illyana's okay. What's that? Oh boy, a fire. People! Help me, please! They're after me! Help!
Hey bro, company.
You want help, chica? We'd be happy to oblige.
Hey, my mistake. Sorry, fellas. I'll just be on my way. Let go! I can't face. He got me.
Leaving, little one? You want protection, it's yours. We do this for you. You do something for us, right?
Wrong. She's mine.
Back off, nice and slow. Anyone stupid enough to try something won't live to regret it.
These are turf, woman. You don't give no orders here.
This gun says different. Move away from the girl.
We 6 to your 1, bitch. You gonna smoke us all?
If I have to, and unless you put that hand where I can see it, I'll start with you.
I managed to catch my breath. I'm in as good a condition as I'm gonna get while the gang's distracting the purifier. I have a chance to run!
Damn!
You were watching Julio and La Chica, bitch. You should have kept your eye on me.
Martin, he's dead. She iced our Jefe. And we'll pay her in kind, mi hermanos. Blood for blood. Take her.
And we heard gunfire. But I guess you didn't need our help.
I had pride, but those punks made me lose her. That's a mistake they'll never make again. Keep after her, Rocco. She has to be close by. I'll head back to the car.
However, while the skirmish raged,
Rats! An alley, thank goodness, and the coast is clear. Rusher Street. That tells me where I am, for all the good that does. I wish I had a map. A store. A bodega. A Spanish delicatessen. My luck's improving. Careful. Wolverine says there's no such animal. Poop on you, Logan. Luck exists and it's finally breaking my way. A phone. Sorry about this, Mobile. I wouldn't do this if it weren't an emergency. I'll pay you back too. Honest. Come on, answer. Be home, someone, anyone? Don't do this to me. Answer the damn phone.
Xavier's school, Kurt Wagner speaking.
Fuzzy Elf, it's Kitty. I'm in a bodega on Rusher Street near Colton. I'm in the Bronx. I'm in trouble. I phased just in time. Smoke in my lungs. It hurts to breathe. Oh, cripes, they've spotted me.
Rocco, our bullets are passing right through her. What do we do?
The L! The token booth clerk can help me. No, I can't involve him. The purifiers want me so badly they may kill anyone who gets in their way. There's a train in the station, if I can reach it. It's rolling, I gotta run. Using my phasing power to walk on air isn't easy at the best of times. The slightest lapse in concentration and I'll be splat all over the sidewalk. But I can't maintain this pace much longer. Made it.
Holy saints preserve us.
Who yelled?
She came through the wall like a ghost.
Give me a break. You okay, honey?
Let me catch my breath. Men chasing me, trying to kill me.
Don't be scared. You're safe here. Hey!
It's them!
Behind me, kid. I'll protect you.
Stand aside, people. You won't get hurt. It's the brat we want.
I'm too tired to face, and that purifier knows it. Besides, I can't. I won't leave the policeman. Do what you want to me, but please help the officer. He isn't a mutant. He's not your enemy. He's dying.
And his death, mutie, and what'll appear to be your hand, will serve our cause as effectively as your death.
Lay down your weapons, purifiers, and surrender, or suffer the consequences.
Look! Out the window! We're flying! It's another mutie! Waste him!
Fools! You can no more harm the master of magnetism than you, or your leader can escape his wrath.
Using his powers, Magneto easily deflects both bullets and energy bolts. The purifiers, undaunted, keep firing. For as long as they have weapons left to fire.
Our apologies, Captain, for not arriving sooner.
Glad to see you left some of the opposition for us.
You purifiers seem most formidable against those who cannot fight back.
Magneto? Siding with the X-Men? Colossus, guys, the officer's been shot. Forget the purifiers. We have to help him.
Calm yourself, child. The bullet is steel-jacketed. My powers can easily draw it from his body. His condition is still critical. If he is to survive, we must get him to a hospital.
Elf, where'd you port to, partner?
Rikers Island Prison.
Leaving the remaining purifiers for the police. Magneto transforms a chunk of wreckage into a makeshift flying carpet and soars downtown across the city.
Who were those guys? Hell, who are you? Why were they after the kid?
I am Magneto. My companions, X-Men. We are mutants. As for reasons, you'd best ask the man those assassins are sworn to serve, Reverend William Stryker.
Meanwhile,
Charles Xavier, you who are lost, who wander in the wilderness, would you be found?
Yes.
Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. He that believeth in him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already.
I believe.
Do you embrace the word, Charles?
Yes.
And myself as the deliverer of the word?
Yes.
Prove it.
I can't.
They are mutants.
They are my children.
Think not I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father. He that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Are you worthy, Charles?
Yes.
Negative vital signs, Reverend. The mutants are dead.
See, Phillip, nothing to worry about. If he'll do that to those he loves most, think of how simple it will be to unleash him against total strangers.
Where to, Dr. Ramsey?
Home, George. For a shower, shave, change of clothes, and a decent meal. An hour should do the trick. Then I'll need you to drive me to the garden for tonight's rally.
No problem. It sounds like a pretty big shindig. Is it true? The president's going to be there?
Would you like his autograph?
That'd be great, Doc. Thanks.
But as the limousine accelerates down the street,
Surprise, sucker! Head shrinker. Not a peep. We were leaving as silently as we arrived. I'm doing it! By maintaining physical contact. I actually faced another body with me? I've practiced facing largish masses in the danger room, but I'd never faced a person before. I never had to. And I've never felt so beat. Hey!
Get away from me! Wait. You're the Pride Girl. But that's impossible. You're supposed to be dead.
If Kitty's concentration had slipped even a little, she would have suffered a horrible death. The child is brave. She has 9 lives, Herr Doctor. Didn't you know?
Put me down! You're choking me!
Suffocation is the least of your problems. We require information.
Never!
I was hoping you'd say that. We have ways of making you talk. But many more of making you die. This is a moment I've long looked forward to.
No! Please!
You know what I want. My patience is wearing thin.
The Stryker building, sometime later.
What's going on here? This is a restricted area.
Orders. The Reverend's got no more use for these muties. We're to dispose of the bodies.
How?
Basement incinerator.
I'll tag along.
There's no need, Anne. I doubt they'll give us any trouble. Besides, shouldn't you be at the garden with Reverend Stryker?
It's early. I've got plenty of time.
What have we here?
Orders. Kids wanted for examination. Busy night. Illyana goes to 30. We drop all the way.
We're going up.
What do we do, Anne?
My gun! The wall's magnetized, and the elevator panel won't work. We're climbing faster by the second, and there's no way I can stop us. Alone and unarmed, I'm no match for the X-Men. I have to find a way out to warn the Reverend. If only I can lever these blasted doors. Open!
Without hesitation, Anne leaps for the rooftop, trying not to think of the 600-foot sheer drop, awaiting her should she miss.
They're leaving. They got what they came for. They must not consider me worth bothering about. That mistake'll cost them dearly.
Elsewhere.
As I feared, we are too late.
Pyotr Nikolaevich! I knew you'd come.
There must be some mistake. They can't be dead.
Relax, Pumpkin. They aren't.
Wolverine, the doctor.
He's an idiot. He believes his flaming machines. I say they're wrong. My senses tell me Scott and Roro are alive. And some kind of stasis. A hefty jolt of electricity might revive them.
It's worth a try. We certainly have nothing to lose. Fascinating. Charles must have been resisting Stryker's programming on some deep subconscious level. He could not kill these two, no matter how much he believed he should. Instead, he reduced their metabolic levels to the barest minimum, creating the illusion of death.
Magneto?
He saved your life, Scott.
What? Why?
Considering our past association, your reaction is understandable. I am not your enemy, X-Men, nor do I consider you mine. True, my goal has ever been the conquest of Earth, but solely to create a world where our race, Homo Superior, can live in peace. Look at yourselves, risking your lives for a humanity that would rather see you behind bars or dead. Why do you persist?
Is your way any better? A mutant dictatorship?
Do not take that tone with me, boy. I have lived under a dictatorship, and seen my family butchered by its servants. When I rule, it will be for the betterment of all. Contentment breeds tranquility. Discontent, rebellion. Therefore, I shall ensure the one by eliminating the root causes of the other. Hunger, poverty, disease, war, The freedoms lost will not be noticed, even in the most libertarian of states, and the material benefits should more than balance the scales.
Anyone can create a utopia for a single generation, Magneto. The trick is making it last. Who preserves your dream after you're gone?
You, of course, Cyclops, and the X-Men. Why do you think I want you by my side? But all this may well be rendered academic if Reverend Stryker's plans are left unchecked. Consider my offer, X-Men. Should the fates be kind, we shall speak of it again.
Chapter 4.
This is John Xaiver, ABC News, reporting from New York's famed Madison Square, where within the hour, Reverend William Stryker will give what is to be heralded as the most significant sermon in his ministry. Invitations have been sent to every major national political figure, of both parties, and the few refusals are eloquent testament to the Crusaders' clout. However, a growing number of religious leaders, including fundamentalist evangelical ministers who, only a short while ago, were Stryker's friends and allies, have begun to question the direction of this crusade. It is one thing, they note, to criticize government policy and the moral state of the nation, quite another to single out a specific group of people and brand them as literally less than human. To many, it betokens an attitude uncomfortably reminiscent of that held in Nazi Germany against the Jews. Reverend Stryker has said that tonight's sermon will lay all such doubts to rest. It remains to be seen whether this will be the case.
Do you recognize this apparatus, Charles? It's patterned after your own Cerebro computer system. Like Cerebro, it amplifies your psionic sensitivity, enabling you to detect unique brainwave patterns of both active and latent mutants. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, the number of the beast. And when you make contact with those minds, you will destroy them.
Reverend!
Anne, you look dreadful. What's the matter?
X-Men. They stole Cyclops and Storm's bodies, and Colossus' sister. Dr. Ramsey's disappeared as well. I think they kidnapped him. If he talks, if they learn what's planned for this sermon...
They're a handful of children, Anne, and I am a servant of the Lord. What can they do to stop me? Brethren! In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And the Lord formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Thus our race was born. Thus it has remained for lo these thousands of years, until today.
Merce.
Yes, Senator.
Does the President have any idea what Stryker's saying? Does he support it?
The President is a fair-minded man. He believes the Reverend's views deserve a hearing.
We are beings of divine creation, yet there are those among us whose existence is an affront to that divinity. God created man, the human race. The Bible makes no mention of mutants. So where do they come from? Some so-called scientists, humanists, say they are part of the natural process of evolution.
What do you think, Jeff?
The Rangers playing the Islanders over in Garden City. I wish I was there.
Crowd's eating it up. I don't know, partner. That preacher scares me.
Are we now to let those who put forward the proposition that we are descended from apes tell us that our descendants, our children, will be born monsters, and that this is natural? I say no. I say never. We are as God made us. Any deviation from that sacred template, any mutation, comes not from heaven, but hell.
Behind the podium, a switch is thrown. The Psi scan device activated. Results aren't long in coming, as on the roof of the General Post Office building across 8th Avenue.
My head.
Oh, you feel it too, Roro?
This is what Scott and I experienced when the Professor Mind blasted us.
Look! Down on the street!
This boy is in agony. The bleeding from his ears and nose is evidence of a mass internal hemorrhage. Summon an ambulance at once! This boy is critically ill!
That's Nightcrawler, one of the X-Men. What happened to the kid? Did the mutants attack him?
Fool! This boy is a mutant! That is why Stryker is murdering him!
How is he?
Sehr schlecht. Very bad. But mostly I think due to his proximity to Professor Xavier. Once he's moved away from here, he should improve.
Nightcrawler? Kurt! Your ears are bleeding!
Just like the boy. And we will all end up like him if something is not done.
But what? Stryker's counting on an attack. We'll be proven on nationwide TV that we're the menace he's been preaching we are.
However, as the X-Men are gripped by a moment of fatal indecision, Magneto takes matters into his own hands.
Stryker! Since you have proclaimed Armageddon for Homo sapiens and Homo superior, it seems only fitting that you meet your chief adversary face to face.
And I beheld another beast, and he had 2 horns like a goat, and he spoke as a dragon, and he had power too, cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Behold, Magneto, most feared of a fearsome race, self-styled overlord of Earth, enslaver of its people.
Senator, we've got to get out of here.
No, damn it. See, Magneto's replaced the roof. Good as new. He's made an entrance, not an attack. But listen, Merce, to what Stryker's saying. That's the real danger.
On cue, the Psi scan device is reprogrammed, refocused, every iota of Xavier's power, concentrated into an awesome beam of energy, directed at Magneto.
But fire shall come from God out of heaven to devour him. The devil shall be cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, and be tormented day and night, forever and ever.
His shields, his natural psychic defenses, hold, barely.
Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. And if you walk contrary to the Lord, then will I also walk contrary unto you, and will punish you yet 7 times for your sins. We have become a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers' children that are corrupters. We have forsaken the Lord. We have provoked the Holy One of Israel into anger. We have sinned, and must atone for our transgressions with blood.
I underestimated Charles. In the past, he always held back, for fear he might harm his foe. Not so tonight. I cannot survive another such cyborg. I have never felt so drained of strength. I feel I'm too weak to even stand. But enough of my power remains to force this rabble back. A last defiant gesture, for that is all it is. I cannot hold them long.
They're going to kill him. This is insane. Stryker's gone too far. Bad enough he claims mutants as a race are evil, but to call for their summary execution...
Senator, you're bleeding.
What the hell is going on here? What is that madman doing?
The soul that sinneth, it shall die.
Not if I can help it, Buster! Back off, you people! This is supposed to be a church service, not a damn circus! Leave the man be!
Meanwhile, out of the sight of the crowd.
Muties! Hey!
While Magneto holds everyone's attention on stage, Scott figures we can slip in, grab the professor, and get away, hopefully before too much harm is done. That creepy doc said some kind of device is hyping the professor's powers. If I can phase through it, I'll short-circuit its systems. So much for that idea. The professor sensed me coming, blocked me with a mind blast.
The battle is quickly joined in earnest. Ordinarily, the purifiers wouldn't stand a chance. But this, near its source, Xavier's murderous side beam takes a terrible toll. The X-Men are literally dying on their feet. They have precious little time to stop their mentor. For some, though, it is already too late.
Reverend, the X-Men are here, trying to free Xavier.
Anne, what have they done to you?
Blood? The beams affect me? But that's impossible. That would mean I'm a...
Mutant.
Reverend, dear God, I served you faithfully. Why are you doing this to me?
It is God's will, child, not my own. I am truly sorry.
You don't care. Do the faithful mean nothing to you?
I am set upon a righteous course, and nothing and no one will deter me from it. A true daughter of heaven would have accepted her fate. Your resistance reveals your true allegiance. Mutant Hellspawn, I deny you. I cast you forever into the abyss.
Reverend, no!
Is this your holy word, Reverend? That any who oppose you must die?
Shut up, Mutie. This is your fault. Wait a minute. What he's saying makes sense. Let's get the freak.
Nobody's getting anybody, capiche? Take a walk, Buster. You and your buddies. While you're still able.
Suddenly,
What the hell? An explosion! And smell the smoke! There's a fire, too! This is camera 1! Notify the police they'd better evacuate the garden! Fast! Ron, keep filming no matter what! Till I say different!
Scotty, we got no choice. We have to play it my way.
Do it, and good luck.
I'm afraid the double port won't be pleasant.
I've ridden this ride before, remember? Ready when you are, Elf.
Nightcrawler and Wolverine disappear. And Cyclops fires his optic blast, seemingly at nothing. The two men arrive at their destination. Cyclops' shot rebounds off a wall. Another wall. Xavier deals with the obvious threat, unaware till it's too late that it was merely a diversion.
Whew, you cut things pretty flamin' close, Psych. Charlie nearly nailed us.
I had to. A moment too soon or too late, he would have telepathically spotted the plan in my thoughts and countered it. Same with a direct shot. The professor's good, but he lacks our combat training and experience. I figured he had problems dealing with simultaneous attacks from opposite directions. Either you or I would do the job.
Psych. Your zap KO'd him. My claws would have killed.
I know. This takes care of Stryker's machine.
Then it is finished. We have won.
The fight's barely begun, Peter.
But without his machine, or the professor to power it, Stryker is beaten. Should we not go before he can summon more purifiers?
I'm not running. It isn't the purifiers who are dangerous, but the man himself. His beliefs, his ideas. If we don't stand up to those, here and now, then all we've done is delay an inevitable holocaust. One way or the other, us or him. It ends tonight.
Sounds good to me.
And me, Scott.
count me in.
What are we waiting for?
And so, after removing Professor Xaiver to safety.
Look! They're crazy!
Maybe, but they got guts.
Good evening, Reverend.
X-Men, Storm, and Cyclops, but you're supposed to be...
Dead. We're full of surprises, Stryker, as you'll soon see. You've been making some pretty extreme charges against us. We figured we'd claim equal time to answer them. You don't mind, do you? Your toys are broken, Reverend. Your goons are beaten. It's just your word against ours.
Then I have nothing to fear.
You're a lucky man. Thanks to you and people like you, mutants live in fear every day of our lives. And sometimes those lives are very short. Less than a week ago, 2 children in Connecticut were murdered, Stryker. Condemned solely for an accident of birth. Would you do that to someone because of the color of their skin or their beliefs?
I do nothing, Cyclops. I am an instrument of the Lord, and whatever a man's color or beliefs, he is still human. Those children, and you X-Men, are not.
Says who? You? What makes your link to heaven any stronger than mine? We have unique gifts, but no more so, and no more special, than those granted to a physician, or a psychiatrist, or philosopher, or athlete. It could be due to an accident of nature or divine providence. Who's to say? Are arbitrary labels more important than the way we live our lives? What, we're supposed to be more important than we actually are? For all you know, we could be the real human race, and the rest of you the mutants.
Human? You dare call that thing human?
More human than you? Nightcrawler's generous and kind and decent. He had every reason to be bitter, every excuse to become as much of a demon inside and out, but he decided he'd rather learn to laugh instead. I hope I can be half the person he is, and if I have to choose between caring for my friend and believing in your God, then I choose my friend.
Let those blasphemous words, girl, be your epitaph.
That cop shot the Reverend.
Yup, and he was about to shoot an unarmed little girl. If that's the word of God, it sure changed some since Sunday school.
But what about the muties?
What about them? They've done as much, or as little, as you clowns. As far as I'm concerned, they're free to go, and good luck to them. They'll need it.
Epilogue. A few days later at Xavier's school.
William Stryker was arraigned today on charges arising out of the recent activities of a group of his supporters who call themselves Purifiers. He denounced the indictment as religious persecution and predicted the eventual vindication of himself and his crusade.
A Pyrrhic victory, X-Men, whose hollowness is even now becoming apparent. The man was beaten. His cause lives on. Already, it's being said that Stryker's goal was right, only his methods flawed. No matter how hard you try, you cannot truly win.
I fear, old friend, you are correct.
I have never heard that tone of voice from you before, Professor.
Are you telling us we should join Magneto?
Why not? I have spent my life smashing my head against a wall that refuses to be broken. Perhaps it's time we, found a better way. Stryker made me a killer, even though no one actually died. The intent was there. I swore long ago that I would see no more X-Men die. If Magneto's is the only means to that end, then so be it.
I won't accept that, Charles. Granted, times are tough for us. And they'll probably get a lot worse. Granted, we probably could conquer the world, though the cost in blood would be staggering. But don't you see, either of you? We're human too. A different branch, perhaps, but the same basic tree. Such a fundamental shift in attitude can't be imposed. To have any meaning, it must grow from within. You brought us together to fulfill a dream, Charles. One born out of hope and the noblest of human aspirations. We've sweated and bled, and some of us have died to make it a reality. I'm not prepared to give up. The means are as important as the end. We have to do this right or not at all. Anything less negates every belief we've ever had, every sacrifice we've ever made.
You are all agreed to this? I see. And you, Charles, do you subscribe to your student's insanity, or will you join me?
I cannot. As you remind me, Magnus, I taught them. I gave them their reason for being. I cannot desert them. If they are willing to give my dream a chance, then so am I.
You're a fool. You're all fools.
Maybe. But by the same token, chum, the world's got no shortage of windmills that tilt at.
I have wept over too many graves, X-Men. I will not do so over yours.
Don't go, Magneto. Stay with us. Help us.
I cannot fight for that which I do not believe, Kitty. Much as I would wish otherwise.
Scott might be right, you know. We might win.
For all our sakes, mutant and human, I hope you do. But should you fail, it will be my turn.
I feel so ashamed.
To be proven only human? As flawed and as vulnerable as the rest of us? Where's the shame in that?
Where indeed? I owe you more than I can ever repay. If ever there was a moment which justified my creation of the X-Men, this is it. Oh, thank you, Kurt. Precisely what I need.
Would you mind some company, Scott?
Never say no to a beautiful woman. Especially when she's a friend.
I have never been more proud of you. You said what was in your heart, both here and at the garden. I think for a moment you unnerved the professor. You became the teacher, and he, the pupil.
Labels again. The hell with him. He was in need. I helped him, as he would me. That's what it's all about, really. Needing and helping, caring for one another.
And from that caring comes love.
Which makes the world go round.
If only that were so.